Hey, this is just a quick video showing what our district uses. Uh, I know everyone's been using boom cards and Seesaw and Unique and Vizzle and everything else that they can possibly kind of figure out. Uh, most of y'all are using Google Slides. Our district is not a Google district. What our district has purchased instead is access to Canvas. Canvas is a place where we put our information. This was set up a couple of years ago, where you kind of create different modules for each of your classes, and we've just kind of used it for our distance learning. Personally, this is the first time I've used it because my kids really don't get on the computer. We are more hands-on activity type stuff, and we use the iPad when it comes to our reading assignments. But this is where I've placed all my information for my parents. This is where my kids go to get all their information, and just wanted to kind of show y'all what we do and kind of how I've set everything up. So this is my tab for our morning meeting videos. I also send them out through Remind each morning when I create them. It will take you to YouTube so you can watch and then quickly delete that tab. So I keep all my morning meeting videos in here all together. This is my unique learning system section. I have that parent information letter and then my link to unique learning systems. I only use the homework portion of unique, and I assign homework each day for the kids to complete. We usually do, I am a middle school grade band, so we will do one of the reading activities each day. For math, and this is kind of how Canvas is set up and how I've decided to use it. For math, I have a couple of different counting and then identification activities, and I will take you into one of these just so y'all can see how it's set up. So let's see, I'm going to preview this, and this is kind of what our students would see. So how many objects, and then they would count the number of objects, and then they would mark their answer and move on to the next one. And they could count and mark their answer, and this gives me the information or the graded information that I would need to then go back and score it. So that's how those quizzes are set up. I do the exact same thing in my News to You comprehension pages. So this is for this week's comprehension. It's set up just like the paper is, and that's why I created that little zip document. I've set up each question to show up by itself. That is one of the little things you can do in Canvas is, do you want the question to show up by itself, or do you want all of the questions to show up at one time? So I have it set up for one at a time, and basically all I've done is just cut from the document and then uploaded all those pictures into Canvas, into the files section of Canvas. And then when I'm creating my quizzes, I will just kind of go through and put question number 1, and then these are all multiple choice answers. And I use the exact same icons that we would see on the page to make it a lot easier for my kids. It's the same idea with the higher level comprehension, except that I don't use nearly as many pictures. And these are for the kids that can actually read. I can probably add like a reading, like it would read to you element, but I have not done that yet in this one. Just going to go ahead and go through some of these. One of my parents said that her child was having problems with marking true or false because the letters were small. And so I went ahead and added our large icons here. Let me get to a drop-down box. I go directly from our page or from the work itself. And then on some of them where they have to do fill in the blank, I go ahead and give them a choice because for me that's easier. Here's our little drop down where we have to number these events in the order they happened or will happen. So this way we can select which way. So people paint the pictures of the rainbow, they put the pictures of the rainbow in their window, and then they would go out and check out the different pictures. So they do give you different ways to create quizzes. And so overall, I actually like this way. It does take a lot of time to kind of complete or to fix each assignment or quiz. But overall, I think it makes things a little bit more organized. This way the kids can come in here and see exactly what they need to work on. This brings you to the article itself, and it pulls it up in here, or you can download it from there. Let's see, those are our comprehension. That is Tuesday's article. I include my read aloud, and then our comprehension questions for science. I do the exact same thing. So for your make a guess or hypothesis, I use this as a quiz. Data collection is also a quiz. That way, there's really no right or wrong answer. So, and I take it directly from, our data collection forms. That way kids can follow along and I get what I need in terms of the information. Now, I've also included things for parents, like our school schedule at home. And each of these will have, this is like a little introduction I wrote, and this is kind of the routine I created for our parents that stays kind of consistent with the routine we had at school. I created this back when we weren't really sure if we were going back to school or not. As of this Sunday, Texas is not going back to school, so maybe I need to move some things around. But you can click on each of these and it'll take you to a page that gives you ideas on different things that you can do for each little section. Again, I tell my parents that they can, change things about. Here's our morning meeting. We usually do CNN 10, the calendar, the weather. I've started to do morning meeting on YouTube just to get my kids more involved, whether the parents just kind of put it up on the TV screen and have it going in the background, or whether the kids are actually paying attention. I've left that up to our parents. Our little wake-up routine, giving them different ways to make, kind of a task analysis type thing. And this comes directly from, some of these come from different places. So this one's Autism Classroom Resources, where it talks about how to use task analysis stuff. So I was just trying to give my parents information that maybe would help them kind of get prepared for, them having to teach. This comes from News to You. Most of these things I did grab from News to You just to provide for my families out there, because most of them are lost when it comes to, what to do for an entire school day and what to teach. And so I was trying to give them that structure and things like that. Here's our morning, or here's eating breakfast. Again, things I pulled from News to You or Unique. This was in our core section, I believe. So it kind of gave them ideas on what they could do. And that is pretty much it. Again, this is what we use. This is called Canvas. It works well for us. I can go in and check out my students and see how my students are doing, if they have actually worked on any of the quizzes or things like that. So I would go into the people section or the grade section and get my grades from there. Let me know if you have any questions. I can answer them. But hopefully this gives y'all a brief kind of look into what I am doing to kind of collect my data and how Canvas works, at least for me. Thanks for watching.